We can look at other places in the world and see extreme problems women face. Women face problems everywhere, but in certain places, women have next to no rights. What these other places around the world are doing in their mass violation of women's rights was common practice here not but 100 years ago. Uh, the majority of those. So, it's not like yeah. So women were essentially slaves all throughout history and are still to this day in some parts of the world. And what's causing this isn't religion or race, not all of these scapegoats of the patriarchy. The common variable shared between these other oppressive places around the world and our own more oppressive past was patriarchy. Sorry, patriarchy. So all evidence points towards patriarchy, points towards this human macro alpha predator male agency and human alpha predator male, macro alpha predator male organizations. So women commit violent crimes. I'm not saying they don't. The agency, and they can't help that, just like the men. We love them all. The agency of women from more matriarchal societies are far less violent, however, than the agencies of women from patriarchies. Patriarchies. The Hopi people are a great example. So it's not just the crime men commit, ill men commit within. So it's not just the crimes ill men commit, but the stratified societies such ill men build. This kind of criminal society that he makes, this patriarchy that oppress people's rights to cause everyone, including women, to be more violent. He creates structural violence. The organization of society is oppressive because it's causing its people to be oppressive. So men afflicted with this kind of patriarchal culture create, or this patriarchal agency, create a patriarchal culture that teach women to be in this kind of more patriarchal agency. Believing in racism or slavery, that they shouldn't vote, women shouldn't vote, etc. Or we love Margaret Thatcher to death, but Margaret Thatcher, for example. When we ask though, and I love that she exists and wanted her to exist, but we have to ask, would her mind state, would her perceptions that make up her mind state, her memory systems, even have existed? Or banks, corporations, uh, uh, totalitarian states, or any other alpha predator male organization, human, would they ever even existed without alpha predator male agency being selected in men? So, Margaret's mind organization, the organization of banks, corporations, totalitarian states, and all the alpha predator male organizations are the result of ancestral agency selected in man to spread his genes. So basically, Margaret Thatcher wouldn't even have done the things she done if, somehow men didn't exist. If they were only able to be grown into boys. Margaret did what she did because there were men around who were controlling things, believed a certain way, and taught her this. And to do this, and believe those things, and do these things. And, we love the men and we want them to be here. And no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just trying to help us understand the variables which caused Margaret to believe what she did, feel what she did, and do what she did. And it is men, and more specifically the agency and societies that are selected for of man and inside man. And same thing with all these other kind of, Game of Thrones wouldn't exist if men didn't exist. Totalitarian societies wouldn't exist without men existing. Game of Thrones, not just because there would be no Game of Thrones to even make a history, some sort of story about it, but also because no one would be, that desensitized and lustful of that kind of violence. You know.